morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. My guest this morning is Chief Tony Dania. He's a lawyer and policy analyst. It's been a little bit since he was last in the studio, but we're very glad to have you.
Good morning.
Welcome back. Okay, we thought we might just have a conversation really on looking at taking an appraisal of President Tinubu's ministers in 1 year. This has been on for a few weeks now, and so we thought no, we'd bring in a guest and also give the people out there another opportunity, because they have said it, our viewers, to call in and tell us what they feel. Now, there are quite a number of them. I think there are over 40 of them.
Yes, almost about 43.
Yeah, so I mean, and every ministry is important. So it's even more difficult. You can't even say, okay, let's look at a certain segment. But nevertheless, we shall try to put it into certain categories. Maybe if we were to look at it from, look, well, people say, I'm sorry I spoke Yoruba early in the morning, but money is everything.
Yeah.
Now, so the Minister of Finance, coordinating Minister of the Economy, no doubt he's going to be in there among the people that we probably shall be commenting on. There are so many other, as I said, every ministry is important. Let's look at it. Give me your, and the president himself
is a minister.
Is a minister. He holds down the Ministry of Petroleum. You know, so there's a sense in which they are his ministers, but he also is a minister. And a number of them have been given the sort of score sheets. I think just about the other day, was it yesterday or just the other day, Wike, Minister Wike of the Federal Capital Territory, was given an account of himself to the country via a press conference. Give me your overview. How have the ministers performed? It's been a difficult year, if we're looking at 1 year. What I mean by that, of course, is that there have been cries about, and the president has had reason to mention and acknowledge those cries, that things are quite hard and very hard. To what extent do you think this has affected the performance and indeed the appraisal of the ministers? Because my imagination is that if everything is cool, everything is fine, everything is hunky-dory, then the examiner, in this case, the voter, he's going to be more favorably disposed. However, in tough times, might it affect the assessment of the ordinary scorer, in this case, the voter? Your thoughts on this?
Yes, but please, let me start by saying that it takes a good administrator and a dogged one at that to select among about 100 million adults just a few sub-administrators. So to that extent, and particularly in our peculiar Nigeria, where the winners, politics is the winners takes it all. So to that extent, I want to commend the president.
Okay.
One, Wike is not, at least we know he's not APC man, but because looking at his positive antecedent, he was given this appointment. He has done well as a minister.
And that, from the very start, that has always been unusual. I can't even remember. It might exist, but I can't remember it having existed before, where a president chooses a member of the opposition and a strong member of that.
Yeah, you see, in this contest, it will only take people like us and other, enlightened minds to appreciate to some extent what is happening.
Okay.
The man on the street, the woman at the market, that made up about 30% of the population, might not appreciate this. And some few interests who are supposed to educate them, because their interest has been trampled on, we want to negatively exploit them. That's what we have here. Nigeria is a big country. Somebody told me this morning that, oh, Gambia, this cannot happen. You can keep your money. How many population in Gambia? I was in Ghana when a plane crashed, the last plane crash in Nigeria, and they said, oh, if it is Ghana, we'll find it. I said, you don't need to look for it.
It's going to be within eyeshot.
Exactly. So you see, we have to understand that problem. Then, the minister ought to do what they were doing before under President Goodluck Jonathan. Almost every month, you come and give account. But in this context, you cannot deceive the people and use the media to present. I was visiting a client at the prison in Aushi, and that was during Jonathan's era. And the minister was on television saying that they are renovated Aushi prison, and I was there. You see, so you can't use media to bamboozle the people anymore. We all see it. So what is happening now is you perform and we see you perform. You don't need to go to media all the time. So like Wike, we are seeing him perform. The Minister for Education, we are seeing him performing, and then we are aware of this loan thing and all that. Minister for Works, the man is doing well, Dave. We are aware of the project Coastal Highway from Lagos to Calabar. So I think we are doing well in that context too. So, and then you trickle down, Minister for Interior, we still have insecurity. It's not alone in this context. We have the police, Ministry of Police Affairs is there. The Ministry of Defense is there. So, and then together, they ought to give us some level of improved security.
Did you mention the Minister of Finance in there? Because, you know, that's a big ministry, by which I mean it's not just Minister of Finance and also coordinating Minister of the Economy.
Yeah, like I said, what is going on now, there are three major problems identified in Nigeria.
Okay.
Insecurity, power, corruption. These three problems.
Insecurity,
power and corruption. The moment
how about hard times? That is inflation, etc.
It is a boomerang effect.
Okay. Okay.
Corruption. Insecurity. People can't go to the farm. Agriculture is not thriving.
Okay. So that is one of the causes of the
hunger,
inflation, food inflation,
and all that.
Anger and all of
the moment the security situation improves drastically, the price of food item will come. It has started coming down gradually anyway. It will come down. There will be employment. If you remove corruption, the money will go around. Nigerians are good. Nigerians are not difficult to govern, like people are saying. If we want to do it right, we do it very right, not just right. Despite all the situation we have, we can still pride ourselves. Do you know the number we have rice-producing countries in the world now? In the world, you won't believe it. Go to Google. Do you know that our cable is one of the best in the world? Right. So if we want to do it right, we do it right. The moment Aba are gradually competing with Italy when it comes to shoes. So the moment we want to do it right, we do it very right. Now the anger is when you see corruption. You see people who became affluent, who became stupendously rich, and nothing is happening to them. And it will not be easy. If I have to criticize, I criticize without fear. But I must commend the president. You know why? He is taking bold action. I only quarrel with putting palliative in such a way that it will be easy. Do you know that there are some policies that are self-implementing? For example, the payment of the payment of all federal government money to a central account. This was established put in place by Buhari before he left. Central Treasury, right? It's self-implementing. When you get any money, you pay to a central point. You can come up with policy like that you don't even need to influence, that you cannot manipulate easily. It works for everybody. So when we have policies like that are self-implementing, because the president cannot be everywhere. He might have the good intention, but the lieutenant, the sub-administrators, the ministers, the commissioners are also there. I'm talking about ministers. In a state which is a country of its own, we have commissioners who are replicates of the ministers too. So my take is that the ministries, to a reasonable extent, have done well. I've picked out Wike. I want to take out aviation too.
Okay, Festus Keyamo.
Festus Keyamo, do you know when he was appointed the minister for aviation, there was this misgiving that as a lawyer, he might not do well there. But he has surprised everybody. And then I will refer to the late legal icon, Bola Ige. He was Minister for Power. And he was doing well. And then talking about power, if we can do to power what was done to communication, that is privatizing provision of communication, they're regulated, you will see light. I have a client that was bringing in Apple from some Indians in South Africa. When they came to visit, I was there to draw up the agreement. And he said, this your Lagos-Ibadan Express Road is so busy. There is something I can put on the road that will not disturb traffic. As vehicles are going on it, you are having power. So there are a lot of ways. Some Nigerians, as I speak to you, are researching on how to get power from human faces. Some Nigerians. So when you have power, the development cannot be overemphasized. It will be magnanimous. It will be big. You understand? The growth will be highly appreciative. A lot of persons can now, the common man. In fact, I will advise this administration to vigorously pursue power, make electricity power available. I know it will come with a price, because some persons will tell you, oh, the Niger Republic that we are giving power to, they have steady power to some extent, which is true. But then, do you know how much they are paying? Ghana. Oh, in Ghana, we have steady power. Do you know how much they are paying? Despite, that's why I said it is affecting those in the markets, the common man. It is affecting them, the barbers. So what you should pursue should be a policy that will make life easy for them. Once life is easy for them, and the Minister for Education needs to still do more, because most of the oceans, the hoodlums, are dropouts. There are people that have family issues. There are people that couldn't even go to primary school or secondary school. Most of the Yahoo boys, some of them are not even educated. I don't know how they get money from it. So please.
You'd be surprised. Our youth are highly intelligent. It's a matter of where they actually will be, diverting that intelligence to. As you have said, they might not have formal educational qualifications, yet they are not fazed by technology and all of that. Unfortunately, they are using it to commit crimes.
Yes. So back to Minister for Aviation. Currently, we have heard of our national assets, jets, being seized. Now, this is a big tax for the minister. He has done so well, but we don't know why, we don't know how this debt came about. What we read in the paper is that one of such debts is that of Osun State. So I don't know the protocols as regard a state taking a debt and then national assets are being seized.
Okay, you're talking about the aviation sector now.
Yes, yeah, I'm talking about the aviation sector. Festus Keyamo has done very well. He has been able...
He's been highly commended by players in the field.
I know...
Even fixing the relationship between us and the UK, for example.
Yes.
Via their fair, he's insisting on fair practices. And I have heard commentary from that sector saying that if what Keyamo is doing now had been done before
in the past.
Yes, in the past, this is not where we would have been.
In fact, I cannot continue to mention all that he has done, but he has taken positive steps to put the aviation industry where it ought to be, and we are making progress. We heard about the controversies surrounding the national carrier at the tail end of Buhari's exit. And then the steps he took immediately he came in to handle that. I have a client who is a senior staff of the aviation. He was in my office for an agreement, and he said, oh, this was yesterday. Oh, I've received my salary. Wow, this was yesterday. Today is 23. Yesterday was 22nd. He said it has never happened. And then, I don't want to go into other things. He told me about the former director of finance who was removed, who was, Itato Keyamu's coming in was untouchable. So a lot of things. Apart from that, I know that the staff are going for regular training now because of that same client. So I know of a lot of things that he has done, and I want to commend Keyamo. Then the Minister for Interior, his performance is being robbed off by the insecurity situation and that controversy involving this other lady minister. So, but he has done well. When you talk of immigration activities like passport, international passport processing and all that, you can do it online now. Unlike before, you must go there physically, and you must see the people there. But, you know, and he was able to clear so much backlog immediately he came in. And the prisons have...
He's brought technology to bear on that particular sector that you're speaking about.
Yes.
Even though people are mentioning, I won't say complaining, people are mentioning the fact that there's been a hike in the, you know, in the cost of passports, Nigerian passports. You know, I don't know whether to call it marginal. They weren't massive hikes, but, you know, people will comment.
Yes, the Minister for the Economy and Finance.
Well, yes.
We are already diversifying our economy. We are already looking beyond oil. Our tax management system is being improved daily. But the moment a good policy would have effect over time, but Nigerians, particularly those at the bottom line, want to feel the impact immediately. So you must think off the box to do things that will make them, those categories of Nigerians, to appreciate you. Otherwise, whatever you do, as far as they are not getting the dividends almost immediately, it will be difficult for them to appreciate it. I know it might not be in our generation, that if some of these policies that are coming out are sustained, Nigeria will be great. I pray that it happens in our time. But I'm telling you, that sustainability matters. For example, if the president leaves and another person comes, because I discovered that most policies are reversed as soon as new persons take over the administration. But that is wrong. But if you entrench certain policies that are beneficial to the masses, it will be difficult to remove it. Because another good thing about this president that he listens. So, if you compare, he listens. Shortly after, I'm not here to praise him. I've been criticizing him. It's fact, I voted for Peter Obi. It's not hidden. But I voted for good governance, and I'm getting good governance.
Indeed. Okay, 1 second. Let me bring on the first caller today. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Thank you for
calling.
Good morning.
Guest. Uncle Yari, this subject is a long one, but I don't know if you will give me 2 minutes to summarize.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Start counting 2 minutes.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. You know, I have also taken a look at the ministers, and I can say from my own point of view that about 9 or 10 of them are quite outstanding. Look at the Ministry of Works, what the woman is doing there. You look at the Ministry of Aviation, what Festus is doing there. The Minister of Finance, the way he's coordinating the economy. The Budget and Planning Minister. The Minister of Interior, the young man, very innovative. And the young man too at the IT Ministry. There are about 10. But there are 2 that are very critical to this economy, which the president needs to take a closer look. That one is power, and the second one is petroleum resources. The power, I've complained about it before. We are not having enough. Nigeria is generating an average of 3,000 megawatts, and we are 200 million people. That is grossly inefficient. The maximum they have ever been able to supply is 5,000 megawatts to 200 million people. The problem in that sector is in the transmission. What the GENCOs are generating, the transmission cannot carry it to DISCOs because of, decayed equipment. That's where I expected the power minister to concentrate on. But it seems to be concentrating only on how the little 3,000 megawatts is distributed, and they want to make all the income from that one. That is squeezing the people dry, and there should be a new attitude to that. The petroleum ministry too. You know that it is the reason why prices, fuel and what people use to run their engines is what drives the commercial economy. People, if there is no fuel circulation and there is no diesel to use, the economy almost comes to a standstill. Now, since this minister, I was surprised, Uncle Yori, I was surprised when the president retained the GMD of NNPC. I was expecting a change there because there are so many things that had happened to that sector which the GMD was unable to address. I can still remember 3 of my friends who lost their car engines when the distorted fuel was brought into the country. Today, that matter is dead. Nobody is hearing about it again. And look at the queues everywhere. The thing resurfaced, which we thought we'd never be there again with the removal of the fuel subsidy. Those that were benefiting from the fuel subsidy regime are bent on making sure that Dangote refinery does not work. I'm not seeing the efforts of the NNPC and the minister in that ministry to suggest to me that they are not complicit. Those 2 sectors on Kuyori, the president needs to be drastic about them. The details, I don't think it is. You have the time for me to make all those suggestions here. But I think on the average, many of the ministers are performing and creditably well too. Those that are not performing, at the end of I expect the president to make changes after 1 year. There are some that may be good, but they are in a wrong ministry. There are some that cannot sustain the trend of the times. If you don't do changes, we the people are the ones that will suffer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George,
Awesome.
for his input. You heard his comments on the petroleum sector and the Minister of Petroleum.
Yes, let me quickly say here that I said it here in this program, that policies that will benefit the masses within a shortest possible time is what we count. But you see, people like him and I, we appreciate what is happening. For example, gradual conversion of energy for mobile automobiles is on. It has not spread wide. And then I think the Minister for the Economy should advise banks like BOI and the rest, who are created for a primary purpose. Nigerians can key in on that, converting petroleum automobiles to gas. We are seeing gas flaring, so we have plenty of that. So when that gets old, I mean, because one of the reasons people complain is you see long queue, the price is high and all that. But then, realistically, if you have gone far and wide within this world, you will see that the price is not that high.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
When you do a comparative analysis.
When you do a comparative analysis. But then, the masses don't want to hear that. So you come up with policy. And I think, again, I find myself saying the president is doing well. That gas conversion, you can invest there right now, and you make your money. The only thing we need to do now is regulate quality of equipment that will be used for this, so that they don't bring in inferior equipment. The gas is there, you can't fake it, but the equipment can be faked. So there is a petrol station on Lagos Ibadan that is doing this. Government is encouraging, and they have released certain equipment, but government should diversify that and allow private investors to take in, only regulate it. Now, if about 30% to 50% of motorists now use gas, that will drastically reduce pressure on petroleum.
You know, they're thinking along those lines, to be fair, you know.
Yes, and then the removal of petroleum subsidy. I'm an expert, I make bold to say, on subsidy. I lectured some of the security personnel on how to investigate subsidy fraud. I don't want to mention him. As a Muslim, we don't talk bad of the dead, but there is somebody very big who stole so much money in the name of subsidy. So much money. Okojo Nwela advised Goodluck Jonathan then, to remove it. There was so much pressure, he couldn't stand it. He brought it back. So it takes a dogged president to stand and say, this thing is evil, it will go. Don't take note that corruption is so powerful when fighting back.
It is.
Okojo Iweala, was it his father or mother, was kidnapped when he came up with that policy. We have mafia. Dangote himself has opened up to say the mafia in the oil, they are more powerful than the mafia in the drug world. So, and it takes, again, if Dangote start producing and selling, that will also have a positive impact on the prices of petroleum products. And let me quickly say about power. If Dangote refinery, I gather reliably, generate not less than 20 megabytes, is that what you call it? Nigeria have about 7. How did he generate it? That a whole country cannot do. You understand? If he comes on board, Ekpe is going to come alive. Ekpe is going to develop. Ibejuleki and the houses will develop so much because there will be light. And it might not be as expensive as this. So I have said it here. What Obasanjo did to communication, Tinubu should do it to power.
Okay.
Then the presidency, the Minister of Petroleum has always rested with the presidency. I think
he's the Minister of Petroleum.
Yes, he's the Minister for Petroleum. And then he's also the president. So he might be very, very busy because it might not be easy. So it's better for him to appoint a Minister for Petroleum that will report to him.
But he has a Minister of State.
He has a Minister for State. The Minister for State, there is a difference. I mean, there is a limit to which it's like a deputy minister. It's like a deputy governor. There is a limit to what he can do. But a minister has the power to do a lot of things. Particularly, I have noticed that the president must have told the ministers, look, do the right thing, deliver, or I sack you. But you have the discretion, deploy it positively. That is what is playing out. This idea of trying to impress the president in the past, this idea of always rushing to the president to get permission to do certain things to your ministry is gradually erasing. And that is a good one for the country.
Okay.
Otherwise, most ministers that have performed as analyzed by the caller wouldn't have been able to measure up.
Okay. Let me thank you very much, Olanrewaju in Abuja, for holding on. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes. In fact, the man there, I think, is talking very, very well.
Chief Tony Daniel.
Then I want to commend Mr. George for what he said just now. And again, sir, for example, Adelabu, or who was his name, the one for power, I don't think he's doing nothing. And I think it's better for the president to just maybe do a change of ministers. Because, for example, let me give you my experience.
Okay.
I was told NEPA came to my house. I was told my meter is obsolete. Fine, it's obsolete. I'm not really talking. But when I bought it with my money. You understand? So if it's obsolete, I expected NEPA to bring another new one to change it. And you are now telling me, sorry, if I have to get a 3-phase meter is 220. 1-phase meter is 1 something. From where? You understand what I'm saying? So
I do.
To me, I do. So the head of the whatever, in fact, they are just there. They are not bringing. In fact, they need to think out of the box. If you give me meter and you say, okay, you'll be removing me from my bills, it's okay. You understand? And let me now go to the this other because I used to call him Starboy, but now he's no longer my Starboy. Yeah, what's it called? This man that increased our passport thing. I will not lie to you. I'm disappointed in that because we shouldn't have done that. We are still complaining about what the price of some that this 70,000 this year and that, and you are bringing so much hardship to the citizenry. To me, I think you should just forget about that and just retract yourself. He can still maybe change the price, but not now. Not now.
Okay.
We are still battling with the fuel thing, and he's bringing this to bear. I think the president should call him to order. That is just what I have to say.
All right, and thank you very much for those comments.
Thank you, sir.
Uncle Yeri, good governance comes with a price.
Well, I was going to say that.
Improvement comes,
and it's marginal. It's not as if it's insignificant.
yes,
And for instance, and those in diaspora are not affected
yes,
by this price increase. But yeah, the rest of us, whereas we were paying I think it was in the region of those that were paying 80 will now be paying 100,000, that kind of a thing. It depends on the number of years and the booklets.
And apart from that, before now, when you want a passport, you go there and see them.
That's right.
You don't need to do that anymore.
Not anymore.
Even at the time you were seeing them, you were paying more than this official price. Now, my children, online, I was shocked. Daddy, we've gotten a date. Oh, Daddy, we have gone to capture. Online, and they pay the normal fee.
Yeah.
So this is a direct personal experience. You understand? So we will complain. If there are other ways of mitigating costs.
There are novelties, no doubt.
Yes.
There are novelties.
Yes.
And they should be mentioned. But the caller, Mr. Olanrewaju in Abuja, he spoke about Mr. Adebayo Adelabu, the Minister for, of Power.
Power, yes.
And you heard his comments in there that, in fact, as far as he's concerned, he might be one of those that should be reassigned, if not.
Let me tell you something. Sorry for this digression. In Lagos State, the VIO have digitalized their work. The same thing with some other ministries. Now, guess what? A very big ministry like Ministry of Registry, lands. Land registry, you still need to go there physically. Corruption. People don't want to talk about it. You sit in the comfort of your office or your house, click, pay, check for your CFO, do whatever you want to do. Why can't we do that? Why do we need to go there? Do you think the Commissioner for Land does not have this in mind? He has it. So sometimes corruption is so tough that if you are not dogged like the president, you are not dogged like Keamu, you are not dogged like Wike, you are not dogged like Dave, you won't be able to surpass.
Okay, we'll come back and pick it up from there. Please stay with us. We'll take a quick break and we'll continue this conversation as well as taking your calls from home.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz from the world of music and movies. Your weekends are no longer just days off, but moments packed with knowledge, excitement, and enjoyment. TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, only on TVC News.
Welcome back. We're looking at the scorecards, so to speak, of President Tinubu's ministers, and it's been noted that the president himself is a minister. Now, Peter in Magodo has called in. Good morning, Peter. Hello, Mr. Peter. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle. Good morning, sir.
Okay. We can hear you now.
I would also appreciate if you can give me a few minutes to make my point, like give my other friends.
Like Mr. George, I understand. Yes. It's a big topic.
Uncle Yori, I think I've been watching TVC for a long time now. I think today is the best, one of your best days. You have got a very good, let me say, a visitor. The point this man has given this morning is something that has been biting me anytime I'm in the house, looking at the happenings in Nigeria. One of the things he mentioned of corruption, Uncle Yori, if the president can get fighting of this corruption right, everything will bounce back to normal. The corruption has eaten us up, as Nigerians. From the beginning to the end, people don't know what is going on in Nigeria. The greatest problem we are having in Nigeria is, number one, the governors. In Nigeria now, we are not thinking that governance is about coming to loot. Maybe when you come, it's just to make money that your children will not be able to finish. And you end up enslaving your children. In the next 50 years, in the next 10 years, your children will not be able to stand fit and face other children, because already you have stolen money that will make them look like imbecile. They will just be there, looking, But they don't realize all these things, In our system today, on my street, a 15-year-old boy bought Lagos car. I was just looking at him. What does he do? Is Yahoo? Yeah. I can count like 17 houses in my street. All those small children are buying it. It has become a normal thing in Nigeria now. During Buhari's time, I used to talk to Lai Mohammed. I would check him and say, sir, this is things I'm looking at happening. You were always on the executive council meeting. Mention this to the president. What is the problem we are having in Nigeria is if the leadership at the top takes it hard. Nigerians are fearful. We are fearful people. We will go by what we see or what we hear. But when they see that the leaderships are not ready, everything goes. Yahoo now has become a normal thing. Maybe in Nigeria, we are enjoying the process of the crime. That was one of the things I see. Another thing that is killing us is the governors. There's no contract a governor in Nigeria does that he doesn't negotiate his own kickback. And therefore, before a governor leaves office, he makes close to 50 billion, 30 billion. And these things keep going on. The senators are acquiring. Everybody is acquiring. We have not been configured to just, when you come to the office, just loot so that your children, this thing is killing us. How long are we going to continue like this?
Well, all right. Well,
Why?
Okay. Is there some more there? Okay. Continue for a moment. Okay. I think he has been cut off. Okay, sorry if there was still some more to come in there. Okay, talking about corruption and these kind of things, actually, let's come to your sector. I did introduce you as a legal practitioner, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Surely there's a serious role.
Yeah, the Attorney General, Minister for Justice, and the Minister for Foreign Affairs are doing well. The Attorney General, it's accessible, that's the first thing. You talk to him, you can call him, you can go there. Some of the ministers, you can walk to their office and make suggestions. As busy as the Attorney General is, when I sent a letter of congratulations, we've known him before now. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned one or two things that I think he can do. I got a formal response. And talking about Attorney General, I must say, and I take responsibility for this. I am disappointed in Malami. The former Attorney General, he didn't do well at all. He didn't help this country. You can see the bickering between him and Magu as chairman of EFCC those days. Have you seen anything like that here? So when the current executive chairman of EFCC goes out to talk with confidence, I laugh. He forgot that the person who is his immediate boss is cooperating with him. That's why he's making to make this success achievement. But we don't have that. You understand? So if the current Minister for Justice is a corrupt person and the chairman of EFCC is a corrupt person, they will flow. You will see them arguing. They will be at loggerhead. But this is what we want to achieve. So you see them working together because they want to achieve a common goal. So what he can do, you see, the judiciary is not under the the Minister for Justice. It's supposed to be independent. Appointment, promotion is under the National Judicial Commission, who makes recommendation to the president. So it behoves on the president on what to do. But what he can do, like I said, there are certain policies, even this corruption, as powerful as it is, to some extent, the central payment system for federal government money reduced it. So there are some policies you can introduce. There will be self-implementing. It can implement itself without much ado. Not easy to manipulate, that we touch on corruption. Now, apart from private corruption, because this corruption is everywhere, it's not only with government officials. You need to see what some private investors are also doing. Crazy things. It is everywhere. If you have your company, I have a case I'm doing. The staff were the one that ran the company down. A lady who is the wife of a gubernatorial candidate in Ondo State took laws into her hands. And again, the security personnel, maybe the police, the DSS, a DSS director somewhere has apologized to me and said, look, this thing is not only in police and custom, we also have it. Sorry for what happened to your client. You understand? So it is so difficult to fight it, but we must attempt to fight it. It fights back. It takes people that are dogged, who are not ready to compromise to fight corruption. I
think it was Ribadu, when he was in the place that laid this particular line, that you fight corruption, it'll fight back.
Definitely.
It'll fight back, and we continue to see instances, seeming instances.
Talking about Ribadu, I forgot to mention him because he's one of the, when you talk of Minister for Defense, Minister for Interior, you also need to talk of the National Security Advisor.
Indeed.
We need to address the issue of insecurity. He has a very positive integrity. I did my youth service at 4th CID Alagbon. I was like a PA to him. And I know that you can't go and see him on any file. Most of his files, he gives to me. Oh, yeah, please give your legal advice. So you cannot accuse him during my time that you went to see him to compromise. The only time I asked him that, when he became chairman, I have a case. He told me, don't go into this case. That was the case of the Brazilian haul, billions of dollars. They thought they have, compromised him, not knowing that he was keeping the money. And the people they are looking for walked in themselves with the confidence that they have settled EFCC. And when they came, he said they should arrest and detain them. And they said, but we have brought money to you. He brought it registered.
Is this not the money we're talking about? Andrew in Makurdi, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, sir.
How's life in Lagos?
Very well. But please, you're burning up your precious seconds.
It's all right. What I have is, I just want to comment the... All right. I want to commend you people for this program.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to commend President Tinubu. One of the things he does, and I want to add that he should also do it generously, because like the appointment he gave to Wike as a minister from PDP, he's supposed to give an appointment to other party members as well, so that it will go round. It is not as if he sided. And that one also, I would like to add that the masses are suffering. There are two things that one man talked about, which I want to comment. The issue of petroleum and power. These are the things that the poor man people are suffering from. If all those things can be available, nobody will cry much. We in the village, in the rural area, are suffering. Our transportation is very high. We cannot travel, and people are dying of hunger. So these are the issues that Mr. President should look into. This parliament that he's talking about is not everybody that may even get it. So I want him to help us to give more opportunity for employment.
Okay. Well,
so that many people will engage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And talking of which, I don't know, in this era where we're looking to make for smaller government, well, that's a gentleman there canvassing. Can he please, along the lines of appointing Wike from out of his party, extend the
similar appointment to other parties. You see, you must show that you can perform. What the man used as bringing Wike. Wike have his bad side, though. So what he uses, this man can perform. Don't forget that at the FCT, El-Rufai also to some extent tried. But the man that took over from El-Rufai battered the whole thing, with due respect. And then Wike came back to meet a battered situation. And he needs somebody like him. You understand? So you can't help but admire the achievement, appreciate him for the achievement. Now, if it's not that you must go around all the parties. The practice has been the winner in Nigerian peculiar politics, you just take all and appoint your people based on party sentiment and other sentiment. Why we didn't rule out sentiment here? We are beginning to appreciate the ministers. They are doing well. The Minister for External Affairs is doing well. Nigeria, to some extent, is being respected. But I want to advise him to please look at, because our policy trust has always been centered on Africa. Now, look at making up with South Africa, because instead of we to be competing with South Africa, we should be working together. If you look at USA and UK, they have always worked together. South Africa and Nigeria ought to work together. I don't know why they target Nigerians. Yes, if you say Nigerians are committing crimes, other countries' citizens are also committing crimes everywhere. You understand? So please, you need to make up our relationship with South Africa. And South Africa have some presence here. And I don't know why we are not enjoying what they enjoy. Similar, for example, the cable TV they are running here. Whether you use it or not, light or no light, at the end of the month it goes up. But what I heard, that in South Africa, you use it the way you use your phone. When you load credit, pay as you go. Why can't we have that here? An indigenous cable television station came up in Nigeria and it didn't live long. That you will now use, your subscription will be like pay as you go. But the man did not last long. He has his office at the Keja. So I think the Minister for External Affairs should look at that. The Minister for Agric, I know the impediment is insecurity. So we come back to insecurity. Okay. But then we can encourage what this man in Owerri, now Senator, tried to do when he said everybody should have a farm wherever you are.
Even that idea goes as far back as President Obasanjo.
Exactly.
In his time.
The green.
Kayode in Oshodi. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Yori.
Okay, go ahead, please.
One thing I want to say is that, hello?
We can hear you.
I'm hearing you.
One thing I want to say is that conscience matters most. Conscience matters most. Yoruba will say, Eri Okan. Eri Okan, ministers wa, Eri Okan, olórí wa. You see, they should have conscience so as to deal with the public. That is all. Conscience matters most in everything you do.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in. I just recalled this ministry now, Solid Minerals.
Yes.
The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dile Alake is heading up things there. It's an important aspect that is being given a sort of, shall I say, a sort of reinvigorated attention?
I have not seen that, with due respect, because if the Ministry of Solid Mineral works like the ministries of Federal FCT, power, not power, aviation, works, if they are working like those other ministries are currently working, we have a lot of solid minerals here that have been negatively exploited by foreigners.
Still, as we
Till now, Akwa Ibom State consulted, I'm a maritime person primarily, consulted me on how to stop foreigners from coming to Nigerian waters in their own territorial waters and fishing.
Okay. So
the fishing terminal there is bad. The police, they have almost 8, boats, all moribund. So the point is, the solid the mineral deposit we have in Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed and have no reason to be poor. If we allow private persons, it's the Dangote refinery, not a private entity. It's a private entity, and you'll see the way it will run. Give me any of these refineries and ask me to manage it. You see the way it is run. Corruption is a problem. Even if you are importing, the landing cost of petroleum product can be reduced if you remove this chain of corruption. Till now, you need to go to Navy headquarters, Navy bases to get their permission for a ship-to-ship operation. Whereas you ought to sit in the comfort of your house or your office and online so you don't meet people. Customs are trying to do that now because the allegation of corruption is so much. Yes, so because you need to settle people along the line and you will calculate this cost into your landing cost and sell to make some premiums too, to make some profit.
Okay. So that's where you'd like to see, that particular ministry.
The solid mineral.
The potential is humongous.
Very high. Do you know that we have stockfish plenty within our waters? Do you know that we have a lot of bitumen and we still import bitumen to do road?
Okay, but stockfish, solid
stockfish. Anywhere you see bitumen, there's likely to be stockfish.
Okay.
Because the stockfish feeds on bitumen in the water. Okay. So when you see a large cache of stockfish, check very well. There will be bitumen around there.
I thought stockfish comes mainly from Norway. That's
we have it. Where do you have bitumen deposit? We have in Ondo State.
I see.
So a professor once told us that he can tie this road with far less than the amount we are spending. And this brings me to wastages. I am the only person that have been calling that we should go back to option A4. Transparent position. Look at the amount we are giving to INEC. The 1993 election is not just the most freest, the most transparent in Nigeria, but in Africa. Look at the amount we are paying to INEC to run an election that you can just have a mechanism. You stay behind the person you want to vote. Everybody sees you. They count. You get the result right there. You don't need any, what do you call it? This is their machine. I've forgotten the name.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we have our peculiarities. And this is what you are bemoaning, that this ought not so to be. We've run out of time, but so the Ministry of...
Let's expand the time, please.
I wish. That's what a lot of our viewers say. So, well, thank you. As the caller said, it's a very big subject matter. Yes. And so we could only but spend a few seconds here and there. But by and large, the important point you made was that, well, Tinubu is a bold person and who has appointed these ministers, and you think that by and large they're doing well. Okay.
I just remember
in the few seconds we have left.
Because I said I'm maritime, Minister for Maritime and the Blue Economy.
And the Blue Economy.
When that ministry was newly established, I was here to talk about maritime and the chances of that. He's consulting. Somebody called me immediately I left here, claimed to be a professor from US, that he has the mandate of the minister. The minister should be careful. People are using his name wrongly. I know he has been consulting stakeholders. He should do what the president has done in Wiki. There are some stakeholders that are across parties, but they are good in the ministry. Now he has gone to Ghana and appointed Ghana as the main consultant. You won't believe that Ghana himself, that is the man that propagated the blue economy. He himself is talking to some Nigerians to use as a background. So please, he has consulted, and I want to appreciate him. He was a governor. He has no experience in maritime, but he has done very well, and he's still doing very well. But there are a lot. Maritime is so wide. Indeed. The customs, they are generating so much money, and they are under the Minister of Finance. But where is the money coming from? Maritime. At the port. They get money from the port more than, that is the seaport, more than the border port.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Chief Tony Daniel, lawyer, as he said, maritime, that's your specialization, that's your area. Core area. Maritime and policy analysis. I got to know that there's a
lot of corruption in subsidy. Plenty.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. But I do want to thank you for giving us the benefit of your insights into these matters. And also thank you out there, too, for calling in and enriching the program. That's where we're going to have to leave it today. Join us on Monday for a fresh edition, and do have a great weekend in the meantime. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.